Does that help? But,
hey, I think it's working.
But we love you.
So,
Yeah, it works.
All right, let's try this again. Rewind. Audio's working.
Yeah.
Boys, why is the front right burner the best burner on the stove?
I still don't hear anything. Unless the stream's just way behind.
No, it works. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Yeah. Shut up, Johnny.
Shut up, Johnny.
I was just trying to be helpful.
That's
and you failed yet again. So for me, I use the front left on my current stove because I don't know, I like it. But at my apartment, I used front right because my oven was against the wall, and I needed that space. Yeah. And I'm right-handed, so it was nice to have your pan handle hand on the right side there.
What's the worst burner?
The middle one.
Middle. Look at this rich guy over here with a fifth burner.
Yeah.
Fuck that. I think it'd be front or back right.
Yeah, back right's the worst.
I don't want to use that back right burner.
I never use that one.
I think for me, if I was going to use it, it'd be a great like simmer saucepan.
Yep.
But
I need to not think about this for a while.
Yeah. Let it go to this thing.
I've only used my back burners for rice, for boiling rice.
I think that's where that belongs. Go back there, Rice.
But like that is the only time I've ever used the back burners for anything.
Absolutely. Well, speaking of back burner, this is the Casual Hour, and we've been doing this now for 314 episodes. We are recording this on March
episode.
Happy Pie episode.
Happy St. Louis episode.
Happy St. Louis episode. Yes. Happy March 1st. And if you are new to the show, welcome first and foremost. But second of all, this means that we're going to be telling you about some very special things. The new games coming out in March. You stumbled into a preview episode. Chase has an action-packed back half planned. We're going to highlight those games. We're going to watch some trailers with no audio. And we're going to tell you about the games that we've been playing currently. We're going to talk about the games that we played in February. Did we get it right? And that's really it.
We did not get it right.
Chase is back. I think Chase is feeling better. Welcome back. We're glad to see you.
COVID can't keep me down. Fuck that.
Fuck COVID. Yeah. Well, let's get into it. We've got a big episode ahead of us. So, Chase, I would love to know what you have been playing, my friend.
I'm playing a lot of stuff. Have you guys ever heard of a game called Super Robot Wars 30?
What are we talking about this for?
We aren't talking about it. I just played a few more levels. I think I'm at like 162 missions into that game. There's so many goddamn missions.
Jesus.
Anyway, it's fine. It's whatever. I played a handful of things here. I played Hi-Fi Rush. How about that? Bobby kept telling me to do it. I have Game Pass, so it's technically free to me. So I did
so
it.
good. Game is so good.
I will tell you, I tried to play it with this whole DualSense controller.
Didn't work out.
The Xbox app, weirdly enough, doesn't like the DualSense controller. But then I remembered that I have a good friend named Bobby, and he bought us both a Christmas gift. It's the gift that keeps on taking because these buttons are not the Xbox configuration. So Hi-Fi Rush is like, hey, hit the A button. And I'm like, your A button's not my A button, buddy. And I could flip that around, but I know what an Xbox controller is supposed to look like. So as long as I don't look down at the controller, I know what I'm doing. Anyway.
Just really quick, that controller, there's an app you can download to your phone that you can just map the buttons from your phone. However you want to.
Sure. What I need to do is pry the buttons off to put the Y button at the top.
There you go.
Because that is going to be a de facto Xbox controller. I mean, I like my Nintendo Switch Pro controller. I like Nintendo controllers. I don't mind the buttons being in the quote unquote incorrect spaces. But if you're giving me Xbox button prompts, I need the buttons say what they are.
Understandable.
Anyway. The point is, I think that game's fine. It has incredible style. I love looking at that game. I love listening to that game. The playing of it, It's fine. I don't think it's moving me as much as it's moving you guys. Johnny, I know you also have Hi-Fi Rush on your list. So
Yes.
I've only played the first 2 missions.
Okay.
So if you're further or have something different you want to jump in, go for it.
I unlocked some more combos, and that has made the combat situations much more engaging. Because I was like having an okay enough time with the combat. It was really just about like this eye candy in front of me. But once I got some new moves, now I'm actually like planning out combat scenarios and like the attacks that I want to do and stuff. So I would say make sure you buy some new combos.
Have either of you had a boss encounter yet?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Those only continue to ramp up in a really cool way, and
I'm fighting Raka next, I believe.
Okay. You'll start to get on top of the combos that you've got going on, you'll start to get some assist stuff that's really fun that you can bring into it.
I just got that too. So yeah, it's kind of a drip feed of unlocking more and more layers because it is a rhythm game, so it's already like having to keep track of hitting on the beat if you can.
And that's kind of my problem with it, is that I can either keep on the beat or I can do cool combos. My brain doesn't let me do both. So
it's not very punitive at all.
Here's the other thing, though.
I'm getting S ranks. I'm doing fine in the combat, but I
usually 48%.
Anytime they want me to rest for a beat or use the heavy attack that goes beat, rest, beat again, I'm like, no, I'd rather just mash out the X combo or mash out a combo where I can just keep tapping a button every time, because my brain won't allow me to do that other stuff. Now, I'm sorry, Bobby, I'll let you speak in a second, but there is one cool thing. They let you basically just hit the button as much as you want on the combo finishers. Which is nice. So even though there's a time where the game kind of sets up, hey, you should rest a beat before you hit the finisher to this combo and really get the big attack out of it, I can just keep tapping on the beat and still hit those every time. So I'm not missing that stuff. It's really just when I'm going to do, okay, I know I should do the heavy combo here, but I know the heavy combo to do that, I need to have that rest beat, and I just can't do it. So I just kind of keep smashing back and forth.
2 things that might help you and anybody listening. First, like if you don't want to mess with any of the settings and you want to go at it, the best advice I can give is what they tell you in the game, which is true. If you time your attacks when you're hitting, so if you just say, hey, I'm hitting X, and when I make contact on an enemy, I hit X again, you will be on the beat. Same with Y. So anytime that you make contact, just use that as your indicator, and that will keep you going as you need to. If you don't want to fuck with that stuff, they'll even tell you this if you fail a few fights. Go into your settings, go to accessibility, and it will automatically do combos for you if you just stay on beat. So if you press X at the right time, it'll start to do combos for you. So if you want that big flourish, you want those things, and you're just like, I'm good at staying on one, but I can't do both, that's a really cool way to handle that.
And I know you can even go further, right? Like you can turn a bunch of that shit off, or make the game way easier. Right now, I wanted to play it as the developer intended, so I'm playing it on normal. I'm tapping out the combos like they want me to. I know I could get through the game playing as is. I know I could probably have a slightly better time if I turned it down. And mess with some of those accessibility things. I don't know if it's going to really change my feeling on the game overall. I just think it's really cool. It's probably something that I'll just start watching cutscenes on YouTube, because that's the stuff that's really getting me. I think the voice acting is pretty solid. I like the characters. They feel like the best parts of Borderlands without the worst parts of Borderlands, which is like a 3% versus a 97%. It's been good. It's been good.
Cool, man.
So I'm enjoying that game. I know Bobby, you're a huge fan, and Johnny, when we've talked about it, you seem to be digging it as well. So I don't want to come off that I don't like the game. But I'm certainly not as high as you guys are.
You've never really been a huge rhythm game fan anyway.
I mean, outside of like, hey, it's college and we're getting a rock band night together and having people play rock band. I mean, Guitar Hero 2, I played quite a bit of that in high school as well. But it was really those, hey, we have the people, we're getting together, we're playing the rock band night. That was my time of rhythm game stuff, and it's just not really my genre, even though I can appreciate them and respect a lot of what they do. Johnny, anything else you want to say about Hi-Fi Rush before I move on?
Nope.
Okay. Octopath Traveler 2.
Been getting lots of praise. Sitting at a nice 84.
I don't
it's overwhelmingly positive on Steam.
There is. I feel like I'm being gaslit because I thought we all agreed, the collective, all of us, not just you and not just Johnny, Chase, and Bobby here, but I thought we as a people agreed that Octopath Traveler 1 was bad. And
I never played it.
Well,
because I heard it was bad.
Right. Yeah. Like we all thought this game was bad. So now I'm reading reviews because I'll give you a little preview here. This was for my previous month. I thought I said if it gets glowing reviews, glowing was in all caps, I might play Octopath Traveler 2.
And it's getting those.
And it's getting glowing reviews, and I don't understand how, because those reviews are saying it's just like the first game, and because of that, it's great. I was like, oh, they slightly made the best things about the first games better. And I'm like, well, we didn't like the first game, people. How can you possibly? You can't circle that square to me. That doesn't make any fucking sense. So, hearing those reviews, I thought I need to try this. There's a free prologue demo, whatever, out. You can play. I think they give you 3 hours. And you can pick whoever you want to play. You can pick any of the 8 people. You can start those missions.
I mean,
and you can just play
I'm looking at reviews for the first game. Game Informer gave it an 8. It had an 83 on Metacritic. Famitsu gave it a 36.
So how did we all think
gave it an 8?
I liked everything about the game.
Went back and changed the review score. I think there's a conspiracy going on.
Was like, I thought there was going to be this substantial event that would make it important for these people to be in a party together.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, it felt like 8 mediocre stories that revolved around each other that I didn't finish the game. So maybe there's a payoff. I don't think there really was.
There's not.
Where
I didn't finish the first game.
Yeah.
But from everything that I have read and seen and heard, there is not a payoff, and that is the biggest thing people hate about the first game.
Same. That was for me.
It 8s.
Like I thought for sure there was going to be a reason why these people were together, but that wasn't the case, and that really turned me off of it.
So my problem with the first game, and why I bounced off it very hard, was that the bosses specifically had too much health and were unfun to fight. And even though the game has a similar battle style to Bravely Default, which I really love, where you can kind of bank extra turns within a turn, so you can do like 4 turns in 1 turn to get these really damaging attacks. Even though it had this combat that I liked, you just kept wailing on enemies, especially bosses. And they would just take forever, and they wouldn't be fun. And I remember that being something like Square Enix put out the demo, beta, whatever the hell, for the first game, and solicited feedback. And that was one of the things I feel like people mentioned. I know I mentioned it in my survey because Square Enix definitely read that and cared. But I thought I remember hearing them come back and say, hey, this is one of the things that the prologue felt too hard to, or that this demo thing felt too hard to people. We've tuned it down a little bit. And then when I played the full game, no, I still had the same problem. Things are just so spongy. the fights were unfun because I felt like I had learned what the fight was supposed to be about. I figured it out. I figured the puzzle out of a battle, and then you'd still be doing it for turn after turn after turn, and it just bored the fuck out of me. And then knowing that once you got new characters, that was all like, okay, hey, this new character gets its one little story thing, and then they're just in the group and nothing matters anymore. That it just didn't make me feel like I wanted to keep playing. So let me tell you about my experience with the demo here. I played as the thief lady. I forgot her name. But I started there. I actually didn't level a lot of the characters that I saw there, or is like who's going to be the main character here that I'm going to really jive with, and there just weren't a lot of people there. But I ended up trying the thief lady. I was liking the story. It's a gorgeous looking game, as the first game was.
Sure.
The voice acting is pretty solid. The writing, I think, was pretty good. I really liked what was going on. The whole thief beginning is about how somebody's kind of, there's a mole going on. You're kind of trying to figure out who's betraying your thief clan here, and then it's actually like a double cross going on. And great, cool, let's get to this first boss fight. And I get to the first boss fight, and the guy is weak against dark magic. Well, hey, that works out. I use dark magic. And I tell you, man, I went turn after turn after turn. I broke the character because the way the combat works is they have like a certain amount of armor shields on them, and then when you break them, you can do extra damage. I can't, unlike with my physical attack, I couldn't just do 4 dark attacks consecutively. You could do like a powered up dark move, which still only breaks 1 shield. But it is what he's weak to. So I couldn't hit him with dark, hit him with dark, hit him with dark, hit him with dark, and break his shield on a single turn. I had to keep using the dark attack, which kept using my mana. This is a fight where I had to use every single item I had collected to regain my my SP points. I had to use every single item that that brought back my health. I'm like, man, this is a long fucking fight, and I figured it out. I know what I'm doing. There's just nothing else to do here. I'm one character against one boss. It's not like there are other mitigating factors here. And I ran out of all of my health items. I ran out of all of my SP items. I ran out of SP, and then I ran out of health. And I went, okay, fuck you. And I turned the game off, and I deleted it from my Switch, and I said, what the fuck? What the fuck? They did it again.
Well, and that's funny because I saw that I didn't see, you shared that sentiment with me, and I think I even shared a hot take, and then I shared with our group tonight a conclusion from one Jason Schreier, who claims that this is not only, I think he said it's really great, but I think he said it's the best JRPG he's ever played.
One of,
which is high praise considering what that man has touched. And that's, I mean, look, good on him and good on you if you can enjoy it.
I wish I could be these people who like this game. I love the way this game looks.
Yeah.
I liked everything else. I thought, you know what? Maybe I was wrong about the first game. Maybe I should go back and play the first game, because I'm actually, I wasn't feeling any of the characters that much. But once I finally got into the thief route, I'm like, you know what? I'm actually having a good time. And then it just did the same fucking thing.
So Chase, I need you to do something for science.
If it's to re-download Octopath Traveler 2 at all, I will not do it.
It's not.
Okay.
I'm just curious, and you don't have to play a lot of it. There's a free-to-play. It's a separate game. It's on your mobile device. Mm-hmm. I'm curious if that feels like what you encountered. And
what game is that?
There's an Octopath Traveler for mobile.
Okay.
It's not 1 or 2. It's not a port. It's like its own thing. Yep. I'm just curious because I think that they let you play like maybe a character. I don't know how it works. Like if you get to play a little bit and then you have to buy the game or what that looks like. But anyway, there's Octopath 1, 2 in a mobile version. They're churning these things out, and people seem to like them. People seem to really like this one, but it sounds like you're not there. You've certainly there's other things you probably like right now, right?
Yeah. Tell us all about it.
Not really.
Let's hear it.
Okay. Let's actually I'm gonna do one more thing before we talk about Destiny. Here's something that I've been actively enjoying, loving, having a great time. I've been watching the Double Fine documentary, the Psychonauts 2 documentary called Psych Odyssey. This is from Two Player Productions. Again, they've been with Double Fine since 2017, if not earlier. Yeah. They recorded a bunch of Amnesia Fortnights for them, the kind of 2-week game jam stuff that the Double Fine does, not annually, but semi-annually. They recorded the Double Fine Adventure when that was being kickstarted, the game that turned into Broken Age. And I've always found those documentaries to be super fascinating. I'm a huge Double Fine fan. I've got a Tim Schafer signed Psychonauts poster above my bed that I look at every night and dream sweet dreams of Tim Schafer. Psychonauts, maybe my favorite game of all time. It most days it does take that number one spot. Loved it. You guys know I wasn't the biggest fan of Psychonauts 2. It really disappointed me. We talked about it at length on this podcast for a couple shows. I haven't gotten far into it, and I haven't gone back to it. But hearing that there was a 32-part documentary about the development of Psychonauts 2, each of these parts is at least 30 minutes, and some of them go a little bit over an hour. So it's like 20 plus hours of watching this group over the course of 6 or 7 years build Psychonauts 2, and it's awesome. Does it make you want to play the game? Yes, but I don't think it makes me want to enjoy the game. I think it makes me want to see academically, go back and see what that game is, and think about how they built it, and see the progression that made it to what it is, even though I still know that I'm not going to love the final result.
That's just silly because that game is good.
I'm glad people like it. Again, that was the thing I said, is like I'm glad people are digging it. I did not, but for the future health and well-being of Double Fine, I'm glad that people were enjoying the game. I will say, are you guys going to watch this at all? Is there a chance you'd watch this? Okay.
I think there's a chance. I don't know when I'll get around to it.
I don't want to spoil anything, and it's a weird thing to spoil this real life happening documentary of what's going on. But as most games are, development is fraught. The Psychonauts 2 was not an easy game to bring to market. And I think the documentary it portrays a really fascinating look at the developer. And I mean, I've seen what they've done before, but this documentary or specifically, I think does some really interesting things. I don't want to play I had a documentary film class in college, but
did you?
I did have a documentary film class in college. It was cool. I really liked it. I took an animation film class after that, and it was also very cool. I'm not a film student. I'm no Dan Reichert here, but I did take a couple classes. But one of the things I remember being discussed after many of the documentaries is the documentarian's perspective and just inherent bias. Like you are looking at something through a lens. You are obviously not going to see every little bit. And when it comes to editing down a documentary, you have to build a story out of it. You're still telling a story at the end of the day, even though the story is these are the things that happened. You're not taking every bit of context into account. You have to find some things to trim, and it usually ends up having a side to it. And there is a slant to this, and there are people at Double Fine, or I guess I should say, spoiler, not at Double Fine anymore, who are absolutely portrayed as the bad guys. As like, oh, these guys might be making this game bad. I mean, they're not intending to make the game bad, but just the way the documentary slants it, and the things that they catch, and the things that they focus on, and the questions that they ask other people, lead you to go. The documentarians of this film, I'm not sure if it's that they don't like these guys, but it's definitely that they have found them to be an invading force into Double Fine proper, and it's fascinating to watch that, and then it's fascinating to see, like, 20 parts in, those guys go away. And now you have people talking about what happens when those guys aren't here, and there are still problems. And you see a bunch of people go. I mean, you see a bunch of people go away not because they were malignant to the project and they had to leave, but some people just had life stuff go on. You don't stay your jobs forever. Yeah. For lots of different reasons. So to go from Double Fine in 2017 to Double Fine at the end of 2020, and I'm not that far yet. I'm 27 out of 32 parts, I believe. A ton of people leave. Like Brad Muir, the creator of Trenched, or Bobby. Got that new audio device detected?
What's going on over there? Just breaking more stuff. It's going great.
Hey, can you hear me?
Oh, hey.
I think we're good. I think audio just got a little bumped again, but we're good.
Okay. Do you have an idea when we lost it?
Just like you would say, what was the last? You saw my hand go up, right, when I did that?
Yeah, I mean,
that's
when
you're saying you watched 27 of the 32 episodes.
Yeah, I've watched 27 of the 32 parts of this documentary. And seen people leave, seen people who I feel like, that's fucking Double Fine right there. Brad Muir, Anna Kipnis, Greg Rice. Seen a lot of those people move on. And it's not like they moved on all at once. They moved on after a period of years. You get to see them be purchased by Microsoft, and they go to E3, and you see the behind the scenes of Tim coming out at the Microsoft press conference and going, "Yeah, we're Microsoft now. We're part of Microsoft," and seeing how that affects the team, and hearing them talk in these meetings about how it might change, or hopefully not change, the company culture as they go along. You hear them talk about things like crunch. You hear them do Christmas parties. There's 2 different Amnesia fortnights that happen during the development of Psychonauts 2. So they kind of take breaks, and you get to see the Amnesia fortnights. Both of which I think they've shown previously in some way, but they have them both represented here as well. It's really cool. But the thing that was the most exciting and interesting thing to me was seeing that kind of documentarian slant where you go, I see the story that's being told here. You can hear somebody say, well, I don't know if that's the way that should go, and then you see those breadcrumbs continue to go through on this part of the documentary until 2 episodes later, like, that guy's no longer with the project, and he's no longer with Double Fine, and you're like, oh shit, drama. So it's fascinating. I think it's a really, really interesting documentary. I know seeing 32 parts is going to scare a lot of people away, but it has been nightly viewing
if
for
they
me.
can see 2 hours for the casual hour, what's 37 episodes there?
Yeah, so I'm a huge fan of it. I can't wait to watch even more of it. It's fantastic. People should watch it. It's so good. I'm a Double Fine super fan, so I'm I, of course, feel like I get maybe a little bit more out of it, seeing people I know, seeing them talk about games I know and care about. But I still think, even if you don't care about Double Fine's output, to see how a game gets built kind of from the ground up is really, really cool. And I think it's also really interesting that it's Double Fine and that it's Tim Schafer's company, because that's what you think of when you think of Double Fine, is Tim Schafer, and he is such he is like a Kojima-like authorship auteur kind of thing. That's one of the people you think about when you think about people who make games, and seeing how he kind of goes back and forth of, well, how much do I want to be the leader of everything here for Psychonauts 2 versus how much do I want to step back and let other people take the reins. And sometimes that's a good thing when he does that, and sometimes it's a bad thing when he does it. And you have a lot of people who talk about their reverence for Tim, that they all came to Double Fine because he works here. You don't know some of the other people at Double Fine, but you know Tim Schafer's there, and you know you want to go work for that guy. So it leads to some really interesting things, and I just think it's cool. I think it's really, really cool, and people should check it out.
Nice. What else,
All right,
Jace?
let's talk Destiny.
Oh boy.
I promise you, I'm going to keep this short. Johnny's been playing it too, so Johnny might go long, but I'll keep this short. I think Destiny 2 Lightfall is fine. It is more Destiny. The campaign is maybe not the best. It kind of just gets you from one thing to the next. I think it does a lot better in introducing you to the new Strand subclass than Beyond Light did to introducing you to Stasis.
Yeah,
you get that stuff.
Onboarding process is much faster with the Strand stuff, which I've enjoyed, because I think get to use the powers. Yeah,
you get to use the powers. You get to use them more often. They don't kind of dangle them in front of you as much. There's still some dangling. I have not unlocked the full subclass yet. I've not finished the campaign yet, because I did try to play some with Johnny, and then when Johnny decided he didn't want to play tonight, I said fuck Johnny, as I always do every night, and then I played more of that, but I still didn't finish the campaign. I think Strand is really cool. I think the abilities there are neat. I think the grapple works way better than it has any right to. I play as a Titan mostly. I think the rest of the stuff for Strand for Titan is a little bit boring. It's got kind of a lunge melee that is similar to a lot of other lunge melees that we see. The super is very similar to the Stasis super. Yeah, a lot of that stuff feels very similar. But it's fine. It's more Destiny, which is what I like, and it's what I'll keep playing. Outside of that, they've made some pretty significant changes to the way Destiny plays. One of which is adding loadouts to the UI system. They've overhauled a lot of UI stuff. I think that's really cool. It's not something I've really gotten to play with too much at the moment, because I'm still in like a powering up, getting the light level grind up, which is something they're also ending eventually, but not in this expansion. So far, I haven't really had anything that I kept as a loadout, because I'm just continuing to grind and get a bunch of new stuff, and I don't want to say this is my build and then have to throw it all away. But I like a lot of the UI stuff they've done. They've changed a lot of the ways that armor mods work, or mods in general work, that I think are eventually going to be smart or feel smarter. Right now, it feels a little overwhelming to me, who has played a certain way for a long time. I imagine it's also overwhelming to somebody who's come back to Destiny after a long absence. We'll hear from Johnny here in a bit.
It's, I'm getting by.
Yeah. But also you don't have to unlearn the mod stuff like I kind of had to get back up. So I don't know. Maybe it's easy for you. My biggest problem, I think the rewards are pretty terrible across the board. There aren't a lot of guns that I want to go get. There aren't a lot of new rolls on guns that intrigue me. There's a couple of new perks, very few of which make me excited and make me want to grind and collect. They have the craftable weapons. They've had the craftable weapons since the beginning of the last expansion, the Witch Queen. Almost all of the craftable weapons seem worse than the current weapons I have. There's not a lot that makes me go, oh shit, I need to go get that. It just doesn't have those things, and I think that's a bummer. They brought back one of my favorite guns of all time. It's called Trust. It's a hand cannon. It looks like a old timey 6-shooter. You get it from Gambit. Nobody likes Gambit, but I would play Gambit to get this gun. I had this gun in season 4 when it first came out. It had a really unique perk combination on it of Dragonfly Rampage, which is just not something that other guns had. I think it was the only gun in the game that had that combo. Destiny has talked about, or Bungie has talked about, wanting to, when they bring guns back after the sunsetting thing that happened, they want to make sure they keep their quote unquote iconic, the things that made the things iconic. And they've brought the gun back, and it doesn't have the one thing that made it unique. And it's not because it's too powerful, because there's a different gun that they brought back last year that does have that perk combo. So it's not like it can't have that perk combo, it'll break the game. It's just that we brought back this super beloved weapon and didn't put the thing in it that made it beloved. And I think that super sucks. And I think that's just kind of how I feel. I know that's a very small thing, but I think that in microcosm is how I feel about a lot of this expansion, where it just feels that this feels the most like more Destiny than I've felt in a while. And I like more Destiny, but I also like getting excited about Destiny, and I'm not as excited about Destiny.
I came back at the perfect time. That's what
I know. Yeah. I think Neptune is cool. I think Neomuna is a cool looking space. I think I don't know if they let you play in that playground enough. I don't think it goes hard enough into what could be a really cool area. I just think it's a little bit of a bummer. And the worst thing to me is that they talked about before this expansion that they wanted to make the game harder. I'm not saying I need baby games for babies. I don't mind Destiny getting harder, but they made
it harder.
When they say they made it harder, the enemies take more hits and you take fewer hits. And I think that's a boring way to make a game harder. Especially when Destiny has been about making builds and doing cool things and having different combinations of things that you can do to know that you're going to get really effective combos out of this. And now a lot of those effective combos don't work as well anymore. They won't kill an enemy anymore. They won't chain off something like you used to be able to. It doesn't feel as carefree and fun anymore because everything needs to beat you into the ground. And I think that's kind of lame. It's just a bummer to me. Anyway, Johnny, you came back to Destiny at the perfect time, you said. How have you been finding Lightfall?
I've been having fun.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's Destiny. Destiny's generally kind of fun to play.
I am a very casual Destiny player, as casual as you can be with a game like this. I usually pop back in once every other expansion. I skipped Witch Queen. I came back for Lightfall, and it's basically what I expected. I really, there aren't many games that you and I play together, Chase, and this felt like a good excuse for us to have something that we could just hang out, run through the campaign. Like I'll probably put like 15, 20 hours in collectively, and then come back later, whenever the next big thing comes out. So it's not going to be the big time commitment that it is for a lot of people for me. And
I think in that respect, you're going to get exactly what you're looking for. You're going to get those 15, 20 hours and you're going to go, yeah, that was pretty cool. And then you'll be fine. But as the person who does want to grind it, who does want to play it every day, I feel like they dropped the ball when it comes to giving me
that seems to be the
rewards to make me
consensus.
excited.
because I've been reading like some reviews in the Destiny subreddit and stuff. So, but for me, it's exactly what I expected, and I'll have some fun with it. I'll enjoy shooting the new weapons. That exotic bow they give you is pretty cool.
That was really cool.
Yep. So yeah, I'm perfectly happy.
So Bobby, I think what we're trying to say is you should come join us.
Fuck that. Fuck that.
Yeah,
I don't need to do that. I don't need.
I think you're welcome to stay away, and you'll be fine for it. And
that's
honestly,
been one of the best things I've done to myself is to give that game up. And look, every time one of these things come out, that siren song pulls me back in a little bit, and I felt it stronger with this than I have with the other ones. So I did the right thing, and I went and bought Diablo 4 instead to say you spent your money, and now you have what you need. But I've read enough. I've seen enough. Like, the issues I have with Destiny certainly are still there, unfortunately, from what I've read and what I just heard from you all. Like, I just wish it wasn't the case. And I think what needs to happen here is a nuclear level reset again with what they've learned since they did 2, and they changed their format up. I think Sony has a pretty big problem to fix here. And I hope they do offer some help for Bungie rather than just letting them be independent and make bad choices. They need to fix this shit.
See, you're saying that, though. I don't know if that's necessarily the case. I know that the last expansion, or the last season specifically, not the last expansion, people really liked the Witch Queen. The last season was not the best one for them, or it didn't get the best response.
I think it's their lowest concurrent players that they've had to date.
Yeah, but their lowest concurrent is still pretty fucking big. Like, it's something that most other games would kill for. It's not like Destiny 2 is dog shit bad, nobody wants to play it. It's just, it's in a down period from what it had been before.
Yeah.
And while, yes, that's not a great sign, you want the game to keep getting better and better. When we say things like Sony has to fix this problem,
they need to fix it.
I don't think Sony views it as a problem. I think Sony views it as they're doing what they do. They'll figure it out.
Look, man, I'm not going to split hairs with you on Destiny. Like, that's a fucking fight I do not want to have.
I'm telling you, I'm not happy with this season. I'm just saying, I don't think to say, bad season, so I guess we just write the whole game off and it's terrible.
No,
it's not.
I'm saying
it's Destiny.
that
it's fine. It's good.
I'm saying that they got too much content that they can't fit in their game. They have to do bullshit rotations. They bring back weapons that they made you feel were fucking special that aren't. They have been pulling into their bag of weapons that were supposedly destroyed on Destiny 1. They are trying their hardest to bring things back for those people that have stuck it out. And the payoff's just not there. Like, their public events, their fucking dungeons, all this other shit. Like, the dungeons are fine. It's the lost sectors and all the promise that was good. But, like, that stuff sucks. It's old. It's long in the tooth. It doesn't fucking feel satisfying.
And that was some of the things they tried working on here. I think that was some of the stuff with, hey, we're bringing the challenge back to Destiny, is that they wanted to make some of those places feel more special. I haven't done a Lost Sector yet. So I couldn't really tell you. I don't know if how much they've changed the rewards there. I know at one point, a couple seasons or a couple expansions ago, Lost Sectors were really exciting because that was the only way to get the brand new armor, and it made them interesting to grind again. And then it got to the point where there was a pool of specific armor that you could only get from Lost Sectors, and that pool continued to expand with each new expansion, and then that got a little long in the tooth. And so I don't know exactly how they're changing Lost Sectors. Yes, they're changing a lot of stuff. They're trying things. I'm not happy with this current expansion. It's still Destiny. I'll still keep playing it, but I'm not as high on Destiny as I was before. I'm happy to play plenty of other games and maybe put a handful less hours into Destiny each week. But I mean, they haven't lost me yet. I just am not super happy. Anyway.
All right.
Bobby, yeah, what have you been playing?
Let me hop in here. I've been playing good video games. I've been playing Phantom Brigade.
I have not heard people say good things about Phantom Brigade.
You've played this game with me. You've seen it in action.
I have.
It's a good video game.
I mean, it's a turn-based mech game, so I love it, but I've heard people say not so good things about this game.
Sitting at a very positive currently on Steam. Came out on February 28th. This game will set you back $29.99. You can get it it was on the Epic Game Store for a really long time in early access. It was not on Steam. This is its first time coming to Steam, which is
on
exciting.
sale right now.
It is on sale, 20% off. They call it a hybrid turn-based and real-time tactical RPG. If you've done any sort of audio or video editing, imagine your tools that you use for scrubbing a timeline being present in this turn-based game where you are scrubbing forward and backwards in time to predict and play into the movements of your enemies and yourself. There's a pretty deep customization of the mechs, from the gear, the paint scheme, and all that stuff that comes with it. The game is really a turn-based video game with an open world kind of thing happening as well. Like you're upgrading your convoy, you're upgrading your team, and going through some story beat stuff there. The voice acting is good. I didn't mention this. This is Brace Yourself Games. They've put out all the Cadence of Hyrule. They've done Necro Dancer. They did the Industries of Titan that I really enjoy. So this feels like a very different entry for them.
Yeah,
It's got like a Scandinavian vibe when you're in the cities and you're fighting to protect those. I think that it's a very slow game. It's a slow moving game, even in a slow moving genre for like turn-based games, because you are constantly, it reminds me of like claymation or stop motion. Like you're constantly scrubbing to see the movements, and like I'm going to run into this person here, or, well, shit, now that person's going to get shot. I didn't realize they would. So I'm going to go back to where I was at. I'm going to try.
Because there's so much preview, you end up kind of analysis paralysing it, and you just go, I guess I need to move it a little bit more here. Whereas something like a Fire Emblem, you take your turn, and if the enemy fucks you up, well, you have a turn reset thing. But mostly, I do my turn, and then I just see what happens. Whereas this is like, oh, well, I can always do a little bit better, right? And it's cool. I love that. As a person who loves doing all that little shit, fantastic. But I could totally see that getting on somebody's nerves of going, I played this game for 30 minutes and I've done half a turn, maybe.
Yeah, it's a slow moving game. The story seems fine so far. Like I did have reset progression from them hitting 1.0. So I've done the entry mission on it. I got a decent way into it. I think the graphics look really cool. I think the abilities are neat. You can do certain things like, okay, I'll see on the timeline. It literally looks like video or audio editing, because you'll have a blue line that's your run. You'll have your red that's attack. You can also have yellow that's a shield. So there might be times when you're running and you're getting shot. You can shield at that part of the timeline, and then you can have an attack follow up with it. I want to say it's like 6 to 8 seconds that you get to preview. It's neat. It's a really cool concept. I don't know how long I would be like up for like, you have to put some time into it for sure, but I don't know like how long this game is, if things start to happen where it moves a little bit quicker. But I think it's a really cool concept. I think the price is right. There's a lot of video game there. If you're into mechs at all, I think the mech design here, from what I can see, is really neat looking. There's a bunch of different variations to it. And I'm just happy.
We have streamed it before. You did mention that.
Yeah, and we're streaming it this Monday as well.
So let me ask you this before. I mean, not before we do. We're going to stream it regardless. But do you think the slowness of the way that you can play the game, or the analysis paralysis that we mentioned, do you think that ends up hurting it when it comes to streaming it as a video game? Like we do our streams for generally about an hour and a half, if not a little less. Do you feel like we can get a representative piece of that game shown, or a satisfying amount of that game shown in an hour and a half?
Well, it also, like, there's a whole lot of tinkering that you can do on builds with your guys too. So like there's that. I would say it's a very good podcast game. I think it would be a great podcast game. There's some cool music to it as well.
I like the look of it.
The look's great, man. I think it could be fine on stream. I think what I'm going to try and do when I'm steering this is not get too hung up on not taking, like, I'm not going to take hard hits, but like I play it right now to where it's like I don't want to get hit at all, and I want to see. And they did add in a replay button that's really neat too, because I think it lets you spend a bit more time watching how it unfolded, because that was the other thing from 1.0. You execute and you're like, well, how the fuck did that happen? And it moves past and it's done. Now you can go back and watch and like spend time doing that. So there's a lot of things that you can. It is a slow roll, but it's a cool one for sure. Yeah. So we'll be streaming that. I don't know if we'll do a 1.0 quick look. I think there's a quick look deep in our catalog from the early access of it too.
Sounds right.
But check that out. Phantom Brigade. It's on PC only, I believe, at this time on Epic and Steam. $29, but currently 20% off on Steam for its launch. Another game that I had an eye on that came out and I'm really enjoying. We streamed this on Monday. It's called Aces and Adventures. And this is poker meets Slay the Spire. And it's really fucking cool. You are unlocking, you start with a warlock, you unlock a rogue. There's 3 other classes you can unlock. You are dealing in poker hands. So if you have a better poker hand, you do the attack or you defend yourself. And you are building decks out that have cards you're grabbing that will have different abilities on them. There's defensive abilities, there's reaction abilities. So maybe you lost your hand, but you have this card, it will still let you do a counter attack in a way. There's some really cool stuff. It's a gorgeous looking game. I think the design is fantastic. It came out
also like literally is poker though.
It's poker.
Like, it's not just, hey, you're dealing with cards. No. You're dealing with a 7 of diamonds. You're dealing with a 10 of spades, and you're not making poker hands, but you're making poker plays in like, hey, this is an ace high, or this is a pair of 2s. Yep. And those are your attacks, are kind of sending out these things from your hand. Now you also have these bonus cards that you get that are these kind of like ability cards that you can either play sometimes for free, sometimes you can play them but only in a very specific situation, like only when the enemy is defending. So if it's something like, hey, take away one of their defending cards, you can only play that when they're defending. And then some of those cards also have cost requirements to it. So not just you're playing that card, but you also have to play a spade and a red card. You have to spend those things to be able to use this more powerful move. And that stuff I think is really interesting, the way it blends literal playing cards with these other cards and finds ways of kind of stacking the deck in your favor, or you kind of making your own luck with some of these hands. But then also sometimes you just get 3 aces and you go, well, get fucked. Here's 3 bullets at you. What are you gonna do? And the answer is they can't do shit. They can't do fucking shit to you if you got 3 aces.
It's a really cool game. Full voice acting, which is done really well. Also, this game it came out on February 23rd. It was developed by Triple B Titles. It's currently on sale on Steam, 20% off for $15.99. Full price will set you back $20. I do not believe that this is out on console yet. I have not tried playing it with a controller, but mouse and keyboard works really well. I'll just say this in closing. This is kind of my shit. I collect playing cards. I come from a family that we cooked and we played cards. We didn't have a ton of money. This is what we did as a family. And poker was something that I always enjoyed playing. And this last year and a half, I've really gotten into deck building games. And now I'm getting to blend in like some stuff I grew up with cards that translates very well. And it's a gimmick for sure, but it works really well, I think.
We've had this discussion a ton of times, but we have a bunch of these games. You mentioned Slay the Spire. We just had the what was the band one that we played? Power Chord. Yep. There are a lot of these kinds of games out there, and our question has always kind of been, is this one worth playing when you already own 4 or 5 or 6 of the other ones? And I think for certain people, I think the answer is going to be no. It's like, this is just kind of another one of these. Does some cool things, but it's just kind of another one of these. But I think for you specifically, with your love of playing cards, also me, just kind of really dug what was going on here. I like the strategy to it. I think it's not that it takes up a different space than something like a Slay the Spire to me. I still feel like I would play Slay the Spire, but I think I might also make time for a game like this. In addition,
it was a good streaming game for sure.
It totally. So even though I think my general answer is no, you should just keep playing Slay the Spire or play Inscription or play the other quote unquote good ones. I think this one, even though it has its gimmick, is still pretty cool, and I think it's strategically strong enough that it's worth trying.
Absolutely. So there's another game I've been playing quite a bit of. I'm going to kick that off to Johnny though, as he's been overlapping with us on a few other things. Mm-hmm. Johnny, why don't you tell us about Sons of the Forest?
Can we actually kick it off to Kelvin? Let Kelvin talk.
I mean, that's what this is.
Yeah. Bobby wrote on the notepad, talk about Sons of the Forest. So Sons of the Forest is the sequel to the 2014 game, I believe, The Forest.
Yeah.
Developed by In Night Games. And it just came out last Thursday.
It was like...
Right?
Yeah, last Thursday.
It was like the middle of the week.
You played it twice now. Yeah,
that's true.
On streams.
Yes. So the whole premise is you are looking for this billionaire family, crashes on an island. The island is full of cannibals and other unsavory creatures. Yes. And you're trying to solve the mystery of what happened to this family and also like what the fuck is happening on this island because there's dead bodies everywhere. And it is a survival crafting horror game. And me, Bobby, and friend of the show, Jason, have been playing a lot of it together. Tonight, we got everything we need to get the shovel on our stream on Friday, and we got to go.
Ooh.
We got to go delving
it's like
into.
That's like a skill check, I think.
It's like a pretty good shovel.
No, it's like cool you have to get 3 pretty big fucking things to get to go to where the shovel's stored at. And what they make you go through to get those pieces certainly felt like we're testing your metal at this point.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, obviously, I'm being shitty, but it is just very funny. Of like, oh, we did all this stuff to get a shovel.
Look, man, you're on this island. Like, there's not a Home Depot.
Shovel's a pretty big deal when you're on the island with jack shit. I get it. Especially when you got some asshole knocking down the trees that you didn't mean to knock down.
So one of the things about survival crafting games that always is a drag to me is like the initial grind of like, oh god, I have to collect all these fucking logs, all these rocks, whatever, just to feel like I'm actually getting to the point where I can play the game. And so what they have done with this is on the helicopter that you fly in on, there's only one survivor aside from you, and it is this man named Kelvin, who undergoes some pretty severe head trauma. He falls from a tree.
Oh, like literally? I thought this was just your headcanon that this guy's a fucking idiot. Okay.
No. He's like bleeding from his ears.
Yeah. He has this real vacant look on his face, and you wake him up. And
that is some funny ass game design right there of like, hey, we know our AI is kind of fucked here. What if the guy just had head trauma? And so
happy as a clam.
Incredible.
Incredible.
Chase, look at your phone.
Yeah. You have a little notepad and you can tell him like, hey Kelvin, go collect logs and give them to me, place them here. You can have, if you give him an axe, you can have him clear like a radius of like, I think 5, 10, or 20 meters around your immediate surroundings. You can have him gather food for you. You can have him.
It's like the Baba is you prompt.
Yeah.
Like Baba is outside. Like when you have the notepad, the first line that you can just move through is like get, stay, follow me. So if I put get, it'll go, okay, it's moved over. Sticks, rocks, logs. Get me logs. And then the next one that comes over is like drop them here or put them in a storage spot.
Yep.
And then he'll like read it. He'll shake his head really quick and go and get them. But the other thing that like here you were mid. I'm sorry, Johnny. Keep going.
He's great. I love Kelvin. He's our dear sweet boy that stays back at camp and catches fish while we're out in caves killing God knows what. And I think this is going to be mimicked so frequently going forward by other survival games. Maybe not necessarily like maybe like a helper robot or something instead of a man that underwent severe trauma. And it's made the onboarding process so much more enjoyable for me. Having like, even though I'm like, if I'm playing by myself, I still have Kelvin, and Kelvin can help me get things that I need to get my base built up or not have to worry about food, so I can focus on chopping down trees. It's just really smart. Like it's a funny way to give you a useful companion in this game where everything's fucked. Like this, it's very terrible. Bad. This island, like you're under attack, so like having this sort of comedic relief that also will catch fish for you is pretty good.
Not the same style of game at all, but when I hear and the clips that I've seen of Kelvin, it reminds me a lot of the hired hands in Spelunky.
Yeah,
or it's like,
it's just this is my goon.
Yeah, it's like this thing's just smart enough to do stuff, and it's also just stupid enough to do stuff.
Yeah,
God damn it.
Yeah, like we were building a tree house, and we told Kelvin, go get some logs, Kelvin. And
he's like, oh, you mean this perfectly good log right here?
There's a tree right here. And he chopped down the tree, and our whole tree house just fucking collapsed. And it was great. It was a beautiful moment.
It's pretty good.
I think that we can all agree that this is probably like my favorite genre out there. Like survival building games, I fucking adore. I love the blank canvas and building things. But to Johnny's point, I kind of like the like, oh, I found out where I can harvest this, and I kind of gamify getting that stuff back to build with. But one of the really cool things about this too is like there's two types of building. There's more free flow where you have like templates you can follow, but then there's also ones that's like prefab. So it does like a silhouette of where you just need to put the material.
Yep.
So if I put a few of those up, like cabins, watchtowers, whatever, I can tell Kevin, finish the build. And he'll use whatever resources are available, and he'll just piece it together. He'll run and get the stuff, and then I can go and focus on other things that I need to.
I can go explore this cave. I can go 3D print some stuff that I need. Like
I think that it's
great.
I'm like really an RTS game at that point.
Kind of. I've been trying to think also like this is one of the most innovative things I've seen mechanically done in a game in some time. And I'm trying to think that the last time that there was something that could have changed the genre to the degree that this is. Like,
the Nemesis system from Shadow
think that's up there. Yeah.
Mordor.
It was cool.
They patented so that no one else could put their spin on it. Oh, Chase, get out of here. Everyone.
I don't think it does much.
Get out of here.
I just don't think it does much. It's fine.
What I will say is that like I've already been thinking about, like, 'cause I still feel like Subnautica is my favorite one of these, but I was already thinking like, man, if there would have been somebody who was helping me get water or fish or like materials to build, that would have
like a little squid buddy who just ran around and picked up things for you. Wouldn't that be cool?
I think if this was 10 years ago, 12 years ago, maybe a little bit longer, I would have probably had friends that I could have had like a more dedicated, we're only playing one of these games, we're going to hop on and do this shit. Bobby, you build, I'll bring you some logs, we'll do whatever we need to do here. That would have been fun. But as an adult that plays these games by myself for the most part, this has been huge for me.
You know, it actually reminds me the most of the Palicos from Monster Hunter.
Yeah.
Is that I think you had Palicos for a while. I can't remember when they first added them, but at one point, like Monster Hunter, that's the game that you go and play together with a bunch of people and you fight the monsters. And then at one point they're like, hey, we made the Palico just smart enough to be useful in battle. If you're playing alone, it can fight a little bit.
It'll gather herbs for you.
It can do that. It can just grab the monster's attention, so you can heal up yourself, or you can cook, or you do whatever you need to do. And that's kind of evolved a little bit from there to make it even smarter. And now you have things like the Palamute and other things that they've added over time. But that, in a similar sense, Bobby, it's this game that feels like it is meant or was built for this collaborative co-op stuff. Is now we have an option for people who are just playing alone to continue to kind of feel like you're getting that cooperative stuff. Yeah. And I can especially understand it when you're talking about a game like Valheim or something, where I bet that's really daunting to go in by yourself on your server that, you know, Jason and Johnny have abandoned you on, and you go, well, I'd like to keep building this thing, but what's the point? Because it's going to take forever and nobody's going to enjoy it when it's done. Now you got Kelvin here, and you can just say, hey, Kelvin,
we're home.
You can, look at what we built, Kelvin.
We're home.
Yep. Now, if he had the head of a volleyball, I think I might be even more on board with this.
Well, there are other companions that you can find on the island. At least one other one.
Oh, yep. Okay.
There's a three-legged and three-armed woman named Virginia.
What?
You can't tell her what to do, but you do find these GPS trackers.
Yep, that's Virginia for you.
And
she won't listen.
You can attach one to her so you can see where she's at, but you can also give her a gun. She
Don't
will
do that.
She'll fight off those cannibals when they try and tear down.
You can give her 3 guns.
You could. She'll occasionally like gesture for you to follow her. She'll take you to like a helicopter crash or something where there's
she also enjoys a good picnic table chase. If you look at your phone again,
why does she have 6 limbs?
You don't know. It's part of the mystery of the island.
Okay.
It's great. I really like this game a whole bunch. I'm having a really good time with it.
Here's the best part, Chase.
This is extremely upsetting. Why'd you show me this?
You can give her weapons, and in her third arm, she'll hold her pistol.
I don't like this.
And then you can also give her a shotgun at the same time. So she's holding the shotgun and the pistol. Whenever you give her a weapon, she has unlimited ammo. I'll just be like hanging out with Kelvin, carrying logs. All of a sudden, you see her 3-legged out in the middle of nowhere, just popping cannibals. Pop. And she'll come back and she'll be like, "Oh, by the way, here's a rabbit. I killed the cannibals. Here's a rabbit. You're welcome."
I don't know. I don't know about this thing anymore.
This game rules.
Johnny, what else you got?
I bought Metroid Prime Remastered.
Yeah, you did.
And they fixed it. They made the controls not suck, so I can enjoy this game because it's really, really good.
It's very cool.
And I'm way farther than I ever got when I played it on the GameCube back in the day. And I'm glad that I am able to fully appreciate it because I do think it is a quite brilliant one of those. I understand the reverence that people have for those games now. Just been chipping away at that. Still making progress in Dead Space. That rounds it out for me.
All right. Ooh. Well, now that we've told you what we're playing, we're going to tell you what we're going to play. And to help us do that, Chase.
You need to tell me what I'm going to play, because you got to spin that wheel, Bobby.
Yes, as I was saying, we're going to tell you what we're going to play.
I thought you meant like what we're going to play, like what's happening in the next month. But no, okay.
Well, you're gonna play this in the next month.
Yes, but God damn it, you know what I mean, Bobby. Bobby Peas, you son of a bitch.
What are we doing here? I need to pull up the actual so people can see.
Yes, please.
We can do that here.
Yep.
There we are.
I think I might have added something, 1 or 2 games to this list, because of course I fucking did. We can never have a smaller list, right? We can only get bigger.
Yeah. Should I spin it?
Yeah, go ahead. As I told you guys before the show, there's only 2 games that I would kind of veto here. One is Super Robot Wars because I'm already still playing 30. I want to finish something before that, and the other is Suikoden 1 because there's going to be a thing. Hey! I'm pretty excited about this. This is a game that I wanted to play. I told a good friend of the show, Brian Glenn, that I would play this game, Opus Echo of Star Song. I would play this game when it went on sale, and then I think it did go on sale at one point, and I thought, well, you're still not going to play it yet, so just wait until you actually play it, or wait until it comes up on the big wheel, and then you can play it. I think this game's a sequel to a different game. I'm not going to play that game, but I will play Opus Echo of Star Song. I'm pretty excited about that. You know what? I'm really enjoying the wheel. The wheel has given. I'm feasting on this wheel.
There you go.
I'm excited. I'm so excited about that. I think that game is on Switch. That game is on Steam. Let me write that down. Opus Echo Star Song.
There you go, man.
Sweet. I'm excited.
Well, you've got one game to look forward to, but let's look back a little bit, Chase. How did we do in February?
I'm gonna say we did bad. Just on the whole. Now remember, Johnny wasn't here for our last preview, so these are Jiggy's picks. But we'll talk about them. So for the previous month, my picks were Destiny, because of course we talked about that. I said Dungeons of Ether, which I had to remember what that was. But when I looked it up, I was like, yeah, that game's pretty cool. So I added it to my Steam wish list and did not buy it. So maybe someday. And then, like we mentioned before, if it got glowing reviews, maybe Octopath 2. And I think I have decided that no, I'm not gonna do that to myself. Bobby, you had Atomic Heart. We have a quick look of that going up tomorrow.
Yep.
Yes. Or yesterday, if you're listening to this on Friday.
Yep.
But I think that you seem to be relatively in favor of that game.
Yeah,
Johnny,
I'm having a good time.
Were less in favor of that game, correct?
I uninstalled it after about 45 minutes.
Like it was Octopath Traveler 2. Nice.
Well,
yeah. Like it was Wild Hearts, which is another game that Bobby has here. You uninstalled that one too, right, Johnny?
I reinstalled it.
You reinstalled it? You just uninstalled it today.
Oh, but I love this game. I want it to be good. I want it to play the way that it should.
The man can't even finish not finishing something. Bobby, you had Wild Hearts on your list. You seem to be liking this game. Unfortunately, I would love to watch you play some of it, but every time I tune into one of these Friday streams where it's going to happen, it doesn't happen.
Take it up with Johnny.
I do. I take it up with Johnny many times. But you are liking this game. This is the Monster Hunter by way of Koei Tecmo. Yes,
it's so fucking good, man. It's very, very good.
Awesome.
We got a quick look up as well.
Yeah, that went up yesterday, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So maybe I'll watch that quick look because can't find any other content about it on this godforsaken podcast.
Yes.
Show.
Fair.
Whatever the hell thing that we do. And then Bobby, you also had Hogwarts Legacy. We've talked about why we're not talking about it. Jiggy had Company of Heroes 3, so I hope he really liked it. He also had Octopath Traveler 2, you poor bastard, and he also had Like a Dragon Ishin, which is the new old name for Yakuza. So good job.
Yeah, we picked.
Yeah, well, let's talk about some free stuff here real quick. On PlayStation Plus Essential, you can get Battlefield 2042 for the PS5. And on the PS4, you can get Minecraft Legends and Code Vein.
Two solid games.
Yeah, Code Vein's that Bandai Namco Dark Souls 1.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
But you know what? 3 games that you've heard of, which is a lot more than I can say for Xbox Games with Gold this month, which are 3 games I have never heard of in my entire life and forgot about immediately after watching the trailer for them.
One of which is the 4th entry.
Incredible. Like it's like this is like Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo. You never made the first one. You never made 3 other games.
Trevor Book?
I think that's Truber.
Truber Book? I think this looks good.
The umlaut.
Yeah. It looks great. It's got a great trailer to it. People should check it out. It's kind of like it reminds me a little bit of the Swapper, where it's 2D. It's kind of like built what's the word I'm looking for? Like dioramas. It's like a diorama style to it, and I believe it's an adventure game. It's got a cool look for it. That's available March 1st through March 31st. As Johnny hinted there, Sudden Strike 4 Complete Collection. It's RTS games. That's all I know. It's an RTS thing. It's available March. I think it's World War II. It's available all of March as well. And then Lamentum is available March 16th to April 15th, and this is a kind of top-down, pixel-based ghost fightery thing. I don't know. I don't know. It seems like it's got a style. Bobby, you want to talk about what's new on Game Pass this month?
Sure. There's some new stuff coming out to Game Pass. We've got, first up, included with EA Play, F122. The next true Xbox Game Pass.
It's the 122nd F game.
Yes. 122nd F game.
Yep.
Wolong Fallen Dynasty will be coming out. Valheim hits consoles. EA Sports PGA Tour is going to have a 10-hour trial included with EA Play, part of your membership with Game Pass. MLB The Show 23 and Way to the Woods are your Game Pass lineup.
I think this month is very funny in that that Xbox Games with Gold has no real games on it. In fact, Microsoft is publishing Minecraft Legends because they own Minecraft for the PlayStation Plus collection that's coming out. And then we get the Sony MLB. Sony made MLB The Show coming to Game Pass. Just put your good games on your console. You could do that.
Yep.
What are you doing?
Totally.
Very funny. Very funny. Let's get into the monthly releases. We'll try to do this relatively quick because you know what? Not a great month. We're just gonna say at the top here. I'm skipping a lot of stuff. There's a lot of horror games coming out this month, weirdly enough. But we're going to talk about a couple. Thank you. We'll only talk about a couple here, even though I know Johnny's decided he's a horror fan now, which I still don't understand, but okay. As Bobby mentioned, coming to Game Pass on March 3rd, Wolong Fallen Dynasty. This is that new Souls game, but it's being made by Team Ninja, the makers of Neo. They've made Dark Souls style games before. This one has particular interest to me because it is set very, very loosely.
It's got Lu Bu in it, baby.
It does have Lu Bu. It's got Cao Cao. It's in the Romance of the Three Kingdoms era, so it's got those Dynasty Warriors people, you know.
I think it's fun. I played the demo.
You did? Okay, because I watched somebody play a bit of the demo, and they talked about they died to a boss, and they're like, I feel like I should just restart because I like you lose something when you die, right? Like
but you can get it back. Also it accrues again once you start killing dudes.
Yeah. I think that might stop me from getting this game. I mean, also being a Dark Souls style game is going to stop me from getting this game, but as a person who is currently reading Romance of the Three Kingdoms, has played a lot of Dynasty Warriors in this day, I'm more interested in playing this Dark Souls style game than any Souls style game in history.
It's on Game Pass. You have
Game Pass. Game Pass.
So you can try it.
I could try it.
I think the hook that they have in here to differentiate it from like Neo and your Dark Souls / Elden Rings is it has this interesting dodge mechanic. So if you press B at just the right time, you will like sidestep their attack, and then you can line up and get a critical hit, basically. And I had a lot of fun doing that once I got the timing down. So it's gonna be on Game Pass. So I'm checking this out.
There was a game that is, I don't know if this is it or not. I thought you were playing as like maybe some sort of like monkey in it that looked like a Souls-like.
You're thinking of another Romance of the Three Kingdoms game that's being made by a Chinese studio.
Yes. Unreal Engine 5.
Yeah, the name of it is escaping me at the moment. But yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
I thought that's what this game was whenever I saw it on there. But damn, okay.
Johnny, as somebody who played the demo, whatever, beta, whatever, does this have a similar kind of level-based structure like Neo does, or is it okay?
From what I played, absolutely yes.
You know what? I'm kind of more interested in that than the big open world of Dark Souls. Like it feels like, hey, this is something you can kind of complete and call done.
Yep.
Black Myth Wukong.
That's it. I mean, when you're like finding shrines / bonfires, like enemies respawn when you die, so there's all of that to contend with. Like that stuff is there. But if you like the way that Team Ninja does combat, it distinguishes itself in that way.
There's certainly a lot more flippy shit than your traditional Dark Souls game would have.
Yes.
I'm curious how this will run with being Koei Tecmo on PC, knowing that they typically have some games coming in hot.
It seemed to be running okay for me.
Cool.
Better than Wild Hearts, which was also Koei Tecmo.
Nice.
All right.
Let's move on to the 6th, where Dead Cells Return to Castlevania is coming out for all the consoles that Dead Cells is on. This is the next DLC for Dead Cells. It's been a while since I played Dead Cells.
Me too.
I think I played the first DLC, which was like something of the Giants, Fall of the Giants, Valley of the Giants, something like that. And then I haven't come back to any of the other expansions for it. Dead Cells is a pretty good game.
It's crazy that they've got all this with Castlevania. That's fucking bonkers to me.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like Konami's making video games, so cool that somebody gets to make a Castlevania game. It's $10 for this DLC. There's also bundles that give you all the DLC together with the game. I think I might try this one. I think I might go back in.
How much is he says $10, Chase?
$10 for just this DLC. Yes.
I mean, and Castlevania fans will take whatever they can get these days. So
there's a hidden way to be able to play as Richter Belmont, I believe. There's also like a bunch of new level stuff, new weapons, new perk stuff. Sounds good.
Very cool.
Let's move on to the 9th, where we got Oni, Road to be the Mightiest Oni. It's coming to PC, Switch, PS4, and PS5. I believe Nintendo showed this off at an Indie World, maybe. This is the one that kind of looks a little bit like a Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, you can see that.
Yeah, I mean, it's an action adventure, open worldy game. You play as this little Oni creature, and you're going around and you're fighting shit and getting stuff, RPG style.
Yeah, it's got a look to it for sure.
Yeah, seems all right. Yeah. Same day, we are getting Clash Artifacts of Chaos coming to PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X. This is a new game from Ace Team. Ace Team, you might remember, the dev for Xenoclash, also Rock of Ages, and also the Eternal Cylinder. They make the fucked up games.
They got a look, don't they?
Yeah, they certainly do.
This is real fucked up looking.
Yeah, this one continues to be fucked up. So,
how fucked up is fucked up, boys? Because that guy just, yikes. He looks like somebody that Kelvin would be running away from on the forest.
I was going to say this looks like one of our friends.
Yeah, is this like the acid trip version of the forest? Jesus Christ, this is fucked up looking. Ugh.
So it's not called Xenoclash, but it does have Clash in the name. So I wonder if it at least is in universe or has some kind of tie to the previous Xenoclash games. Anyway, still fucked up.
Gross.
Let's move on to the 10th. Motto Anomalies is coming to PC, Switch, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X. This is billed as a turn-based RPG. It kind of has this weird look to me. Like it's kind of like part steampunk, but like you have that woman that just showed up. That
very cyberpunk.
Like I was absolutely some Blade Runner shit right there of like huge holographic lady. It's also kind of a noir game. It's also kind of Japanese style in the way that it's going. It's very odd to me. But it's also a turn-based RPG. Like it's some kind of like Persona kind of thing. And I kind of want to know more about this game. I don't know if I like what I see, but I'm at least intrigued by what I see. Yeah.
It's
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 pretty.
a captivating sort of look. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the
know.
monster design.
I might keep an eye on that one.
Yeah.
On the 14th, we're getting Hot Wheels Rift Rally coming to iOS, PS4, and PS5. This is a real world game, kinda. I mean, Hot Wheels saw that Nintendo made that Mario Kart Live, and they went, "Hey, we should make one of those. That's the easiest thing we could ever do." And so they're doing that, and that makes complete sense. Absolutely, you would do that. Did any of us play Mario Kart Live?
No.
Okay.
Nope.
I didn't think so. It seemed like it was a decent enough proof of concept. That game kind of came and went. I don't remember anybody talking about it after like the first 2 weeks. I don't know if Nintendo really supported Mario Kart Live too much after it came out. So similar to almost all of their real world stuff that they've done. Like Labo and all that shit.
Yeah.
But
totally.
I don't know. Again, this seems like an easy win for Hot Wheels, and they made the thing. So good for them.
Nice.
As Bobby mentioned, on the 14th, Valheim is getting its console debut on Xbox One and Xbox Series X. Just a quick question for you guys: what's up with Valheim these days?
I don't know. Since I played it.
They added in the Mistlands, which was the next biome for it. It's still not in 1.0. They've done a few seasonal updates as well, like where they've done like holiday stuff. I think that was one of my most played games when it hit early access based off of our count. I adore that game. You all know this. I had to pry it out of my hands because it was not finished, and I am not going to pick Valheim back up until they hit 1.0. And once they do, I'll be all in. But
is a console version not 1.0?
I don't think
it still
so.
in some like early access kind of thing?
I think so, because like I have not. I'll double check. Well, here, Johnny, can you look that up? Because I have everything.
Well, if it's only coming to Xboxes, Xbox has like the game preview program. So if they can still say, "Hey, this game is still being worked on,"
yes,
that makes
it
some
is
sense.
only on Windows, Linux, and the Xbox.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
On the 17th, Bayonetta Origins, Cereza, and The Lost Demon is coming. Lost or last? Lost with an O. Is coming to Nintendo Switch. I'm still very confused by this. I mean,
this is wild.
When they showed this off at this would have been a Nintendo Direct, not an Indie World.
This was very confusing.
It's like it's a new Bayonetta game, but also it looks nothing like Bayonetta. It stars Bayonetta, but they're calling her by her real name, Cereza. So even though Bayonetta's in the title, it's not really Bayonetta, kinda. She doesn't actually do any combat. There's like a demon you summon who does the combat for you. You kind of do these puzzly combat things. It's much more of a like puzzle platformer. I don't think it looks bad. I think it's just weird that it's
not
got the Bayonetta branding on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
It's very.
who asked for an origin story?
I mean, I don't think an origin story for Bayonetta is the worst thing in the world, but
I mean, sure.
We went from where the hell is Bayonetta 3 to here's Bayonetta 3, and also here's another Bayonetta game that is like a weird complete offshoot thing.
It's the Halo 3 ODST of Bayonetta games.
I mean, that game at least looked like Halo. I don't know. If Platinum wants to try something new, this definitely looks a little different than the normal kind of Platinum games that we get. All for it, but it seems weird to me. Interesting. Yeah. Also on the 17th, WWE 2K23 is coming out on PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X. I believe. Is this the one that is this the one after they took a break, or is this the one after the one they took a break? Doesn't matter. It's
after a break.
It's a WWE game. It's fine. It's whatever. Rey Mysterio is on the cover. If you pre-order, you can get Bad Bunny.
What?
Famous wrestler Bad Bunny. He's actually wrestled a couple times. He's kind of okay as a wrestler. I don't know. Doesn't matter.
Oh my god, they have Logan Paul in here. Oh my god.
Yeah, absolutely. He's been wrestling a lot lately, and he's a good wrestler, and he still fucking sucks. Fucking hate him. Let's move on. He's gonna have a WrestleMania match against Seth Rollins. It's gonna be intolerable, but probably a good match. Anyway, on the 22nd, Have a Nice Death is coming to PC and Switch. Bobby and I did a quick look of this. I think it was in early access then. This is the full release.
Yep, it's really cool. I think Gearbox is publishing this one, and it's got a really cool look to it, but it's got a great feel. It is a Metroidvania. It's one of those. Johnny, this is one that I got it on Steam. You should check it out. It's got a really cool style. Death's Door has a similar. I think this hit early access around the same time Death's Door came out, and they were both cribbing on a similar style for sure. Very different gameplay, but
if you're waiting for that Silk song, maybe try this.
That's a great point, man. Like people, I think if you enjoy Hollow Knight, this might be one of the more familiar types of games you can hop into. It's cool for sure.
Yep. On the 23rd, Storyteller is coming to PC and Switch. I wrote down in my notes, this is kind of a little to the left meets Case of the Golden Idol.
Ooh.
And I think it seems kind of neat the way you build the scenes and then are able to manipulate the scenes by just putting in different stuff that goes on. There was another game that was, I think it was more like a turn-based strategy game that you might have played for me, Bobby, that was also kind of similar of I just plug in where the people are or what the story is.
It's slipping my mind right now.
Yeah, me too. But I like what's going on here. It actually honestly reminds me a lot of an Amnesia Fortnite game that was shown in the documentary. That one was done with real life puppets, which was
this is
cool.
Annapurna, right?
Annapurna is publishing, yes. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's got a neat look to it. Storyteller.
Yeah,
kind of cool. On the 24th, we're going to hit the links with EA Sports PGA Tour coming to PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X. With the Xbox, it will be on Game Pass. I think it's cool that they're saying, no, it won't be on the old consoles. It's just the new shit. Fuck you. We now that we have there's no drought of PS5s. Sony said,
yeah, those golf balls are going to be even more round and dimpled than they've ever been.
I have a sneaking suspicion this game is going to feel fucking incredible, and it's been years since I've had a golf game feel great.
Well, Bobby, it has a new innovative ball behavior, so what more could you ask for?
I liked the other one that I was checking out with Tiger last year. That was cool. That was the golf club's PGA Tour that got bought out and changed. I cut my teeth on Tiger Woods with EA. I hope that this is going to be more of a return to what made those games great, because they certainly lost it when they lost Tiger. Tiger didn't hold it together, but they brought in some weird shit. There was a comment on this one about I can't remember exactly who they were talking about. I don't know if it was they were referencing Tiger or if it was just pro golfers in general. But apparently, I might be wrong, but I thought I read that you can only play as a created character on this. And they said that based off of their statistical data, it's an absurd amount of people that they play with their own creation. So I don't know if they removed it completely. I might be wrong on that, but I thought I remember reading something about that. I didn't play a lot of the last one as much as I wanted to because I was shuffling around other games. But if this one is there, I could maybe see myself picking this up and putting some time in here and there to either kick the night off wrap the night up or kick the morning off.
I mean, at the very least, you could put 10 hours into it.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's really, that's quite frankly what I'm excited about is I want to see how it feels.
More than enough time to.
Yeah. So I'm excited.
Yeah. Same day, let's move on to Resident Evil 4, the remake coming to PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X.
Very excited for this.
Hey, I don't got a dog in this fight. I don't really care. I think Leon looks weird compared to the PlayStation 2, GameCube, the other versions of Resident Evil 4 that are out there. I also think the ducking stuff in this trailer looks really goofy when like somebody is very slowly, like it's a 3D movie, like an old ass 3D movie throwing an axe at you and Leon just ducks. I think that looks very stupid. Other than that, people like these RE remakes, so I'm sure it'll play well. Johnny, you're excited. What's got you excited about this game?
I loved the original. It's one of my favorite games, and it seems like the changes they're making are good, and also just like people have fucking loved the other remakes of the first three games. Maybe the third one not as much, but like Capcom, it feels like they're in some sort of renaissance period right now.
Yeah, I agree.
I guess the weird thing to me, and I have to keep telling myself, Resident Evil 4 is an old ass game. That game is old. That game is on the PlayStation 2.
But it's also been remastered and like there was the Wii version they made, which also was a long time ago, but it's been the one that has been like published again and again and again and again. Yeah. So I was skeptical, like, does this really need to be remade? But after watching,
also like that is the first modern Resident Evil game. Like it doesn't have tank controls. It controls actually maybe it does. I don't remember. It controls more modern. It has the over the shoulder camera. It's
extremely innovative for the time. Like
totally. Yeah. Like that's really where Gears of War comes from, is that they saw that and went, oh, we should make a game like that, but maybe faster. So it's weird to me to see this one get remade when I still think of it as that's just always a modern video game.
Kind of been like like once every few years they put out some new version of this, but this being fully remade rather than a remaster. Yeah, I think it should be a good time.
I mean, I need to get over that. It's hey, they remade Shadow of the Colossus. Like that was the same era. They've remade The Last of Us for some reason. That game certainly came out way later than Resident Evil 4, so it's fine to remake Resident Evil 4. I just still think it's weird. On the 28th, Crime Boss Rocky City is coming to PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X.
Game of the year.
This game looks like shit, and I kind of can't wait.
Well, when you say it looks like shit, are you talking about graphics, or are you talking about like...
I'm talking about when you are in the game playing the video game. The cutscenes look incredible.
Michael Madsen is in this?
Yes,
Johnny, this
Michael
is
Madsen, Chuck Norris. Like they have tons of not terrible people, but they have a bunch of like B-list actors that they pulled together. You don't play as any of them, from what I understand. I don't know if there's actual gameplay in this trailer. There might be. When you actually get into the game proper, it's just a bad shooter. Here it is. It's slow. It looks terrible. Everybody takes way too many hits. You're not playing as any of the characters, and apparently like there's even some kind of permanence going on here. So like if your character dies, they're dead, but also they don't matter because they're not any of the principal characters. It's just the fucking weirdest thing.
Weird.
And what happens? You play as a different goon?
Well, yeah. Well, no. It looks like if quarterback dies, you can maybe play as Teddy Bear. Oh, Teddy Bear's bleeding out. Sorry.
What the fuck is this?
It looks completely different from any of the trailer stuff they showed off.
I was expecting like a third person, like GTA like.
Yes.
It's incredible. It's incredible. I need to try this. I've heard some people say this game controls like shit and it's going to be bad, but I kind of need to know. Incredible.
I think it's an Epic Store exclusive for PC players, and I think it's $40 on there, or at least it was. I think they had after the Game Awards, they had this thing listed pretty cheap. Anyway, it's wild and a weird thing.
Yeah, very wild. Speaking of wild, The Last of Us Part 1 is coming to PC. This is the PC port of the remake of the 2013 game. But this is the best time to do it.
Yep.
The
brand new audience.
The show's happening. People like it.
Yep.
I've been enjoying the show. I still have my problems with it, but I've been enjoying the show. I like when Pedro Pascal leans against posts. I think that's nice.
Yes.
Yes.
Good time. Also on the 28th, MLB The Show 23. As we mentioned, it will be on Game Pass, but made by PlayStation. Still very weird. It's coming to Nintendo Switch, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X. It's the next baseball. I wish I could tell you what's new and different other than the rosters, but a pet peeve of mine, I guess, you know what, in the PGA Tour, the EA Sports PGA Tour trailer had kind of what I was looking for. I'm just looking for like a list of features. I want to hear what your gimmick thing is. I want to hear like I remember the salad days when EA people would talk about the last Madden game. They'd specifically be talking about the new Madden game, and they'd say, "Oh, last year? Remember when the game was like dog shit? Well, we fixed all that." And that's what I want to see. And nobody does that anymore, and it bums me out. I want to hear somebody say ultimate zone trigger and show me what that means, but they won't. You either get like these 30-second things where where you have no idea what's going on because it's just, I don't know, these are the fucking players or whatever, or you have 40-minute breakdowns by the fucking worst people you've ever seen on YouTube going, bro, MLB The Show, look at all the shit they're doing. And I'm like, I don't want to talk to you, man. Can you please stop talking to me? That being said, I don't know. I've enjoyed MLB The Show before. I don't know if I'm going to enjoy it this year. I don't know if I'm going to play it this year, but it's there.
Yep.
And it'll be there next year. Let's move on. Also on the 28th, Terra Nil is coming to PC and Netflix, which I guess means iOS, but you have to have a Netflix account.
Yep.
Yeah.
Bobby, you want to tell the folks about Terra Nil?
Yeah, Terra Nil is your latest entry in the super chill lo-fi beats to restore the earth and build things to series.
I love that genre.
It's a very good one. This is a Devolver Digital game. We played the demo on stream, for one of the Next Fest. It's got just a style and a look to it. The whole concept here is that you are restoring the earth back. So you are coming in after a Sim City, essentially. And rather than building the city, you're building back the earth. And there's some cool puzzling things and skill trees that you unlock. I can't wait. I think that this is going to be honestly, I'm very excited to see what this is like on the iPad. I think that'll be a cool spot to check this game out. I'm going to pick this up regardless on Steam as well. But I'm excited, man. This has been on my list of when is that coming out for a while now. And if you pre-order the game on Steam, you get an automatic free upgrade to the deluxe edition that comes with a digital art book as well as the soundtrack for the game. So you can get that upgrade for free if you pre-order it. I want to say it's like $25 or $30.
It's got a gorgeous art style. It's got a fun gimmick. I love the idea. All you have to say is reverse city builder, and I think that's just a cool idea. I'm looking forward to that one as well. On the 30th, Dredge is coming to PC, Switch, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X. In my notes, I wrote down seems like a Bobby game, and I can't remember why. Oh yeah, I can remember why. It's about like going around and fishing in a weird creepy fishing village.
You can also remember why, because you and I played this game on a stream. Yeah, this was on the Next Fest. We got to check this one out. It had a really interesting fishing mechanic to it, if you don't recall that. We only got to do
the one where you're like an old man whose wife is Pixar
No. That's a different one. That's Moonglow Bay. This is the dark, creepy one. You come to a port to try and update some stuff. It was fun. It was cool for sure. I don't know if I'll pick it up on launch day because there's some other things I'm trying to check out, but I did enjoy the time with it.
Not bad. Yeah. On the 31st, Blade Assault is coming to Switch, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X. This came out on Steam in January. We didn't talk about it then, but now it's coming to everything else. I just think it makes for a good trailer. It's got kind of like a Katana Zero like look to it, but it's an action roguelike. It's got a lot of VFX stuff that goes on, a lot of particle shit. Just seems seems like a rad kind of roguelike. Again, we talk about these roguelikes; they're kind of a dime a dozen. But I could see if this goes on sale, maybe something I'd pick up at some point.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, seems kind of good. And then we got 2 games that don't have dates on them quite yet for the month, but they are slated for this month. One of them is Sifu, the port of the 2022 game. This is now coming to Xbox One and Xbox Series X. I don't know. Sifu.
Yeah.
You guys, did you both play Sifu?
Johnny
Yeah.
did.
Johnny played Sifu.
I liked it.
Yeah, it's got a cool idea behind it. And then the other one is System Shock. This is the remake of System Shock, coming to PC, Linux, Mac, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X.
Is it though?
Yeah, no, I mean, if you don't have a date on it, then I feel like it's not coming out the month that you're saying it's coming out.
There was a demo for it on the most recent Steam Next Fest.
Okay. Yeah, I do kind of remember that. I have no idea. I've been not looking at anything about this game, so I have no idea how it is like on a quality scale or what people have been saying about it. But still, I just think it's kind of a bad sign when you're like, it's March, we're coming out this month. When? I don't know. I feel like you should know. I feel like things would have to be, you know, if your ducks are in a row and everything's aligned, you should know a date by now. And to not communicate that to people feels a little weird. But I don't know. Atomic Heart's out right now, so if you want a BioShock style game, there's a BioShock style game that you can play.
Yeah.
But people like System Shock. It's a classic video game.
Totally.
I think people like System Shock 2 more. Like that's the
I never
one.
played any of those games.
Neither did I. I was not a PC gamer growing up, so I'm unfamiliar. Anyway, that is the month, so it's time for us to make some picks. I'll make mine
picks.
pretty quick here. You know what? I think there's a non-zero chance that I end up playing that Wolong game. It's free on Game Pass, so it's worth trying, I suppose. Yep. I don't think I'm going to like it, but, I like Lubu, so who knows? I think I am going to try that Dead Cells Castlevania DLC, and then, god damn it, I'm not going to buy it. I'm not going to buy it this month. I'm going to wait until it goes on the deepest of discounts, which might be sooner rather than later, but I want to play Rocky City, god damn it.
There you go.
God, that's got to be terrible. I can't wait. Bobby, what about you? What do you got?
I'm picking up Terra Nil, EA Sports PGA Tour, Resident Evil 4, and maybe Rocky City.
Yeah.
Do it so I can play it.
I think that game has co-op.
Epic.
I think that game has co-op. Maybe we should try co-op in that.
No.
Maybe, does that sound fucking terrible?
Johnny,
what do you guys? What are you about?
RE4, Terra Nil, and Wolong.
Those are just the games we've said.
I know.
That's what happens when you're the last man standing.
Those are the 3 good games coming out this month.
All right, fair enough. Well, I think that is the end of our March preview. I'll throw it back to Bobby to end this fucking show. Bobby, back to you.
Chase, as always, thanks for putting it together. It is always a blast to check out. If you are curious about some of our other hot takes on that or prior episodes, you can follow along any of the links that you see over there on the right in chat, but also the casualhour.com will get you what you're looking for. This week, we are up to some good things. Chase and I played Aces and Adventure on Monday night.
It also had hearts in it.
That also had hearts. We've got a quick look up for Wild Hearts, which we have attempted to play on stream. Tonight, we told you all about those games that are coming out Thursday or so tomorrow or yesterday, depending on when you listen to this. Atomic Heart is up on our YouTube channel. And Friday night, we're going to go hang out with Kelvin and Virginia in the woods and find a shovel. So I don't know what else you had planned, but that is going to make for some fun content on Friday night. Chase, what are you up to?
I'm not up to much at all. There's a new episode of Pilot Program out there that our good friend of the show, Pierce Corshane, and I produced on the show Blue Blazes. It was a good show to do a podcast of. I had a good time. Pierce had a good time, surprisingly. We've announced what our next episode is going to be. It's going to be on Archer. and I watched all of Frisky Dingo to prepare for that
There you
the
go.
show that they did before Archer. So now I know all the lines that Bobby and Johnny keep quoting on our group chat. So I feel included now.
We can never go back to Arizona.
So looking forward to doing that show as well. Yeah, that's pretty much it for me right now.
Awesome. Well, thank you all for tuning in. We will be back live on Friday night with Sons of the Forest. Take care, everybody.